Imagine holding your own newborn baby and on purpose gently pressing a board against their forehead every single day for months, not to hurt them, to reshape their skull forever. Sounds horrifying, right? Now here's the twist. The Taino people of the Caribbean did exactly this, and they weren't monsters. They believed they were making their children more beautiful, more protected, and honestly, more dangerous. Let's back up. The Taino were the dominant indigenous group across the Greater Antilles, Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, the Bahamas, by the time Columbus showed up in 1492. And one of the very first things Europeans noticed, once they got past the shock of a whole new world, was that a lot of Taino adults had this strikingly flat, sloped forehead. Not injury, not disease, on purpose. Here's how it worked. Starting in infancy, while a baby's skull bones were still soft and unfused, Taino parents would bind boards or cloth tightly against the front and back of the baby's head. Over months, the growing skull was gently forced into a new shape, flattened at the front, elongated toward the back. And this wasn't rare or shameful. It was the standard, the look. So why do this to a baby? The leading theory is beauty. Among the Taino, a flattened, sloped forehead was considered a genuine mark of elegance, the same way other cultures have prized elongated necks, bound feet, or filed teeth. It signaled you belonged, that your parents cared enough to shape you properly from birth. But here's where it gets even more interesting. There's a second theory floating around, one that's honestly a little chilling. Some researchers suggest the flattened forehead may have doubled as functional armor. A denser, angled skull surface could, in theory, help deflect a glancing blow in combat, like your own head becoming a shield. Now, we don't have hard proof this was the intended purpose, but considering the Taino lived under near constant threat of raids from the Kalinago to the east, warriors who came by canoe for goods, and sometimes women, a little extra protection wouldn't have hurt. Think about that for a second. A beauty standard that might have doubled as battlefield defense, vanity and survival, literally shaped into the same bone. And it wasn't just decoration for its own sake. The Taino also stretched earlobes, painted their bodies black, white, and red for war and ceremony, and covered themselves in ornaments, because appearance, status, and readiness for conflict were all wrapped into one visual language. So next time someone tells you body modification is a modern obsession, remember this. 500 years before filters and cosmetic trends, a Taino mother was pressing a board to her baby's skull, quietly deciding what beautiful, and maybe even safe, was supposed to look like.